to be any more clear.
Well, do not get angry.
I'm not angry.
You look angry and bothered. Look at you. You're downright flushed.
Yes, that is what happens.
When one is angry.
When one burns for someone who does not feel the same.
Okay, first let's talk about the main couple, the Duke and I, which would be Daphne and Simon. So I don't really think the name Simon even really fit him, but you know, whatever, that's his name. I'll probably feel that way after I actually read the book, The Duke and I. Then I'll probably be like, yeah, that name fits him. Their love story was pretty classic. They run into each other, and of course she doesn't know who he is, so he's kind of attracted by the fact that she's not fawning all over him, which is a classic trope. And then of course they're, you know, put together, or he doesn't want the attention of all of the moms, all the mamas and their daughters, and she is trying to get away from that old man who wants to date her with terrible teeth and terrible face. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's talk about Daphne. I was really confused, like when the show first came on, everybody was putting on the little outfits and things like that, and also I hated every single outfit. And also, was Daphne wearing the same dress every day? Because I feel like I've seen her in the same blue dress every single episode. I was sick and tired of her wearing blue or wearing the blue dress. Wear a different color. Why does she have to wear blue all the time? Is it because her eyes are blue? I can't even remember if they're blue or not, but I definitely remember that blue dress, and she had it on a million times. And I was just like, is she ever gonna like wear something else when she's not at a party? Is this her house coat? Is this her pajama wear? Why is she always wearing this blue dress? She could have worn red, yellow, green, orange, purple, lilac. There are so many other colors. We didn't have to keep seeing her in this blue dress. I don't even know if it's the same blue dress. It seemed like the same blue dress. It was the same blue, I can tell you that much. Anyway, that just really irritated me. I was tired of seeing it. I was like, why are you a cartoon character? Why do we keep seeing you in this? Moving on to the actual character. Oh, and I also hated that all of the dresses like had this odd, all of the dresses had this odd cutoff. Like people's breasts were all right here, and then they, I hate it. I hate that style. The style is awful and terrible. This is a terrible style. I did love the men's style. I loved everything that the Duke had on. It made him look nice and right and tight. Okay, but anyway, what I'm trying to say is, moving on to Daphne. So she was blessed by the queen, of course. I'm not sure what was so special about her. I didn't see it myself, but you know, she was a very pretty girl. I wasn't feeling the bangs. The bangs were cut a little bit too high, but I guess that was the times, whatever. So she was chosen, and then her brother was just overprotective. He would not let any of the fine honeys that wanted to give her a call approach her, finding a fault with every single person. He was irritating my entire soul. I was like, why won't you let her find somebody? And then wasn't around when the creepy guy came. It's like, are you kidding me? And then when all those guys came to her house, eating their biscuits and tea, and then he wanted to come and ruin everything, but was completely gone and disappeared when the creepy guy came back. Like, how annoying is that? Like, when all the cute boys are around, all of a sudden you want to be here, but when the ugly guy comes, you're gone. You're nowhere to be found. Like, that's ridiculous. But I think that she really had like some growth. I think that she was really sweet. She was really gracious. I think that she's gonna make a really good Duchess. She really cares about the people. I thought that it was crazy that they had no idea how a baby was made. The moms didn't tell them anything, not even before her wedding night. Her mom didn't even tell her anything about how exactly things worked, even on the night of the wedding day, which was absolutely ridiculous and crazy. She couldn't even get it out. I would think after having so many kids, you would at least practice the conversation, practice exactly what you were going to say, so you can explain to your daughter exactly what's going to happen, which all in all led to her being duped in the first place by Simon. But I had a feeling, because I was like, I haven't seen anything in this entire show about him ending up with some type of condition where he can't have kids. I thought, well, maybe he had what would be in those times kind of what is it called when men can't have kids? I don't know, but I thought he did the snip somehow in those times, which probably they wouldn't be able to do that. He'd probably die from bleeding out or something like that. But I was thinking maybe possibly he was able to do that to himself in some medieval way. But it's not the case, because we saw through their sexual scene, he was getting in and getting out as fast as he possibly could. And I was like, wait a second, hold on. Because if he wasn't worried about getting her pregnant, he wouldn't be in such a hurry, you know? He wouldn't be so cautious. And then when she actually started to find out, and then she got mad. Moving on. Okay, so now let's talk about Simon. Simon had a hard not life. But just because he was stuttering or he was slow to learn how to speak, you didn't have to talk to him that way and send him away. Didn't even care to read his letters. He talked bad about his mom. He just was a bad guy. He was really a bad person, and I'm glad he's dead. And I'm glad that on his deathbed, he heard him at least say that he would never have an heir and that everything would die out. Because even though that's not what happened, I'm glad that his last moments on earth were not enjoyable. I'm very happy, because that's exactly what he deserved. He was an evil person and an evil man. How are you gonna all of a sudden be like on your deathbed, yay, you're here, you're gonna take your place? Like, no, forget you. Like, no. So I completely understand why he had such a chip on his shoulder, why he didn't want to fall in love, why he didn't want to have kids. I completely and entirely get that. I think that he should have been completely truthful and honest with Daphne about that point, because then she could have married the prince. They would have been happy, had a family, and all of that without all of the drama that they had to go through. Even though I'm glad that they did work it out and they ended up together with a baby, because they are so cute. You know, they take it upon themselves to just go ahead and do this ruse and of course fall in love, which is of course what was going to happen. Of course it was. But I think that it was still done perfectly. Just because something is cliche and it has been done multiple times doesn't mean that the story itself and the scenes itself and the words themselves can't still be beautiful. I was very surprised when she was outside with the ugly guy and he was about to attack her. When Simon came running and she just punched him in the face and knocked him out, I was like, I was not expecting that. I thought Simon was gonna come in and save the day, but no, she saved herself. And that's something that I really do love, that she does try to find out the truth about things. She is curious about things. She does want to stand on her own 2 feet, and she does want to do things herself. She wants to use her own brain and follow her heart and get the things that she truly desires out of life, of the little that she can do on her own. And it made me chuckle. That's when they decided to, that's when you have really had this Shondaland version of How to Get Away with Murder and Scandal, where they show them dancing at the same time while they're hatching out this plan at the same time. Something that I've seen multiple times: Grey's Anatomy, Scandal, How to Get Away with Murder. And they just had such good chemistry. Like, the 2 actors have really good chemistry. And I actually saw him, he had a TV show out called We the People, where he was a lawyer. And I didn't think that he was too cute in the television show. And I knew that he was supposed to be the cute boy on the show, but I just couldn't really see it. But I'm mistaken. My bad. I see the error of my ways. He's very attractive, and I am completely and entirely on board. I was looking up who was the guardian who took care of Simon, because I couldn't remember. I didn't know Julie Andrews did the voice of Lady Whistledown. I love Julie Andrews. Lady Danbury, that's who it was. So Lady Danbury decided to take upon herself to let Simon know that, hey, she could really get married to somebody. So if you're playing with her, then you need to go ahead and let her go. He just decides to be really abrupt about it. Then he just kind of brushes her off to the side, tells her that they're not friends and all these other things, and that he's leaving. He doesn't want anything to do with her. I don't think that he had to be so mean about it. He could have just explained, hey, you know, a prince wants to talk to you. We don't need to continue the ruse anymore. But he could have been nice about it. He didn't have to be such a meanie. Then that kind of broke her heart, and she was very sad because she had started to have feelings for him. I don't really understand what was up with the whole they have to do a duel situation. When he finds her to try to tell her goodbye and then follows her. My thing is, if you don't want to have children and you're making the choice, you perfectly can have kids, but you don't want to, and you know she needs to get married, why would you follow her into the dark? And why would you kiss her? Now, they stopped and then she kissed him, but why would you even put her in that position, make your, you know, physical feelings known to her when you know that you can't give her the life that she wants, and you know that she was already proposed by a prince? I just think that was very selfish of him if he wasn't going to be truthful, or if he really, really wasn't going to marry her. Like, why do that to her? To the point where you were just gonna die because you mad at your daddy. Like, I just feel like you taking things like a little bit too far. I don't understand why he didn't just leave. I guess he wanted to have honor or whatever, but I felt like he really could have just been like, you know what, I'm just gonna get on a boat tonight and leave, and no one will ever see me again. I mean, I'm glad he stayed or whatever, because, you know, old girl was gonna tell everybody anyway, so she wasn't gonna get her prince in the first place. I don't even remember her name. Call her Lemonhead. She's annoying. So, you know, she showed up and was like, hey, don't kill my man, and you have to marry because somebody saw. She was still like, no, I'm not gonna marry you. It's like, she would be ruined. Like, she would be completely and entirely ruined. Her whole family would be ruined because you're mad at your daddy. But you do care about her and you do love her. So that just didn't make any sense to me. That was just drama for the sake of drama. There was no reason for him to even say that. And then they had their moment when they went to the inn and he says, I burned for you. Actually, that was the first thing that I saw, because I had seen it on Netflix. I was like, okay. I said I was gonna try to take a look at it when I first saw the trailer before it came out, and then I kind of saw that it was out, and I was like, I really don't care. But it showed up in my recommended when he says that he burns for her, and I really like romance. So I was like, if this is a good scene, then I'm gonna watch it. So I watched that scene, and I watched the scene, and it was beautiful. So I decided to go ahead and binge watch the entire series in 8 hours. So that's exactly what I did. Then they go to their home, make love a whole bunch, and then she finds out, and it's just like, so then she finds out that he's been holding out on her the entire time, and she takes it upon herself to, you know, find her herself. I think she didn't have to go that way about it. He could have just moved her. He could have flipped her over or something like that. I felt really bad for her when she found out that she wasn't pregnant. She was very sad. I felt really sad, and he was sad too. He had like tears in his eyes, and then they were just not talking to each other, not speaking to one another. And then like when they kissed, but he was like, no, we can't go further because, you know, I can't trust you. You're gonna be trying to make me give you a baby. Her mom was trying to like get her to like be in love with him and just forgive him and to let it go. And I understand that they're like already married, but like she can be mad for a good minute. You know, she could be upset for a good minute about that situation. I mean, it's something that she'll have to deal with every single day and every single time that they're together in that way, because he's making the conscious choice not to give her children. So that's not something you can just kind of move past like it's not anything. But I am glad that she did take it upon herself to try to understand why, since he was kind of being kind of clipped about it, not really explaining it himself. But she did really understand why, and it was able to explain to him why it really wasn't that important of a vow for somebody who's dead. And it was kind of messed up when she brought that to his attention, and he was just like, nah, I'm choosing my vow over being happy with you. I'd rather us be in a contentious relationship because I want my father to roll over in his grave. So I think he was being very immature, and I'm very glad that he was able to turn that around and realized that he could actually have love and actually have family, and that he's nothing like his father. He can do everything differently. So I'm glad that he realized that not only did he not want to be alone, but he doesn't actually have to be alone. And then they made a baby. They made a baby, and it was hot. And then they had the baby, which I thought was really weird. But I guess, I don't know if that's how the book goes. 1 second she's finding out, well, 1 second they're making the baby, and then like now the baby's born. But I guess since that's the end of their story. So Anthony was at first supposed to be, you know, taking care of the family and making sure that, you know, his sister got married, but of course he was turning down everybody fine. So Anthony was supposed to be taking care of his family, taking on the role of the monarch of the family because their father died, and he was supposed to be marrying off his sister, but he was doing a very poor job. Then his mom read him like a storybook, and he decided to get himself together. So he told his shorty Sienna that they couldn't be together, and that he wasn't going to take care of her anymore. I think that he truly did love her and was just not ready to take on his role. I feel like he really could have tried to marry her, and eventually, you know, it would have been fine, or kind of brought her up into society. I don't know if that would be a possibility to do that. I feel like he could have tried to do that. He ended up being a pretty cool character. I ended up really liking him, and I do hope that he finds love, or maybe possibly that him and Sienna, you know, find each other again, because I think that they really did love each other. Kind of cool. Then there was another brother who was just really into art. He was like, he like had his own little art, but he was also like in the background, and I just feel like it was really odd that he started dating the seamstress woman. It was just so random. And then there was another brother, which is Colin. He's really sweet. He was really noble. He was going to take Marina's baby if she would have just explained the situation, because he was so in love. I really don't know how they even fell in love. I feel like they never even talked. Apparently, he was just so head over heels for her, which just didn't make any sense to me at all. He was really that invested in her. And really felt some type of way and felt the earth move whenever he saw her. I didn't, maybe it's because I really like Penelope, but I wasn't with it at all. I didn't think that they had a connection. I didn't think that they had good chemistry or anything like that. I think that, I mean, when he used to talk to Penelope, I feel like there's no way that he could not know that she has feelings for him. I mean, it's possible to be so blinded to not know, but at the same time, there were like certain moments where like she would say something, or they would just share a look, and I just felt like he might possibly feel the same way, or maybe he's just a good guy, and I don't know, maybe he's just nice, you know, that's nice too. But I really do hope, well, from what I've heard, is they do end up together and they have a very beautiful love story. Then there was Will Mondrick. He was a tall drink of chocolate milk. Oh, did he not end up with any of that money, huh? He didn't get none of that money. He faked that fight, and he didn't even get no money. I didn't even think about that. Penelope's dad dies. Well, it's not guaranteed that he's dead. I hope not, but ooh, I forgot about the whole situation. If Portia Featherton knew that her husband was bad at gambling, I feel like she should have hid some of that money. She should have hid it so that he couldn't take it out and do something stupid again. I feel like she should have taken care of that. It's kind of sad. Well, it's not kind of sad. It's actually sad that he possibly died, and then all the money is gone as well. And then also somebody else is taking the house. We don't know who. I'm curious to know exactly what's going to happen, what's going to go down. I actually did think that Penelope was Mrs. Whistledown. I was like, it's probably her. Because when they kept talking about somebody who's just in the background, just chilling, nobody really pays attention to her. She's always in the background, just chilling somewhere, just watching everything happen. She doesn't really dance. I think she danced one time with Colin, but that's about it. It could have been her. Now, I don't know if they are doing something where it's not really her, it's really someone else. But if it is her, it's plausible. It makes sense. It's way better than what Gossip Girl did, I'll tell you that much. I really love the queen and how petty she is and how smart mouth she is. I love the mom, Violet. I love her. She really cares about her children. She's there for them. She's warm-hearted. and she's just a good person, a good character. I love when she read her son. I love the mom. I think that she is wonderful. She's kind-hearted and sweet. I love the way that she read her son Anthony. I love that she has taught her children to find love. I mean, even saying that the second oldest daughter, like, if she's not ready, then we don't have to do this right now. You know, I won't keep pushing you on. I completely understand if you need to wait until next season. I think she really cares about her children, and I really love her for that. Eloise, I just felt like I liked Eloise, you know, but she was kind of annoying. Just how she kept, every scene she was in, she kept talking about the same thing, except for when she was trying to find out who a Lady Whistledown was. You know, that was kind of interesting. But for the most part, she just kept talking about how she didn't want to get married. Understand if that's being like, I don't know, like breathed down your neck all the time, so that all the time you just want to say, I don't want to get married, I don't want to get married. But I just felt like she just kept saying it over and over. Every scene that she was in, it was like they were using different words for her to say the same thing. Every scene that she was in, like, they couldn't give her anything else to do. She couldn't have been writing a story, writing poems, performing something. She couldn't have, you know, a skill, something else that she could possibly be doing other than just saying she didn't want to be married. She couldn't just, like, I don't know, she couldn't be working on a passion project of some sort. I mean, eventually she does want to, I guess she wants to be a journalist or something, and she was trying to find out who Lady Whistledown was, but I just felt like I was tired of seeing her. All in all, it was a great show. I loved it. I will probably rewatch it at some point in time. I'll definitely be rewatching the scenes between Daphne and Simon because they were definitely beautiful. I'll definitely find them on YouTube and rewatch them. I love a good love story. Thank you so much for watching. Give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe. I do hope that you have a great day and stay safe out there, and please stay sane as well.